In this video, we're going to be discussing headlines and how to write an effective headline for brilliant articles. This is for GCSE English Paper 2 Question 5 with AQA, where the examiner is going to give you one task in order to write a piece of non-fiction writing, which will either be a letter, an article, or a speech. Regardless of what type of text you're asked to create, you should be able to convey your opinion clearly and with confidence, using language techniques in order to convey your message to the reader. For this task, you're spending about 45 minutes, which should be about 2 sides of writing, which is enough to demonstrate your skills as a writer, as well as to give you enough space in order to convey your viewpoint. Whereas you will only be given one task for this question, which can be quite scary, planning is important, so you know exactly what you're going to say in each paragraph. Students might already be familiar with deforest, where each letter stands for a particular language technique associated with non-fiction writing. Whereas you don't have to use every single one of these in your writing, it's important to use some of them, and you will receive marks for such. Your headline should start using these language techniques straight away, and your headline should also make it clear what your viewpoint is from the get-go, so the reader knows exactly what your viewpoint is. Your language in your headline can be confident and clear, but also argumentative, so the examiner can see exactly what your viewpoint is, which means you're answering the rubric of the task. In order to help you with headlines for this video, I'm going to be showing you 3 examples of tasks for Paper 2 Question 5, and showing you a couple of headlines for each, and what it is about them that makes them so effective. Here we have a task about social media, and the claim is that social media is dangerous, addictive, and poses risks to young people. I want you to imagine that you're going to agree with this statement, and therefore you're going to be against social media. If you are against social media, you might want to write a headline like this: dangerous and as addictive as drugs, why are we allowing our young people exposure to a mentally destructive ticking bomb? If this is the first thing that you write, it's going to immediately sound confident and impressive. But what is it about this headline that makes it so effective? Firstly, it's demonstrating skill with punctuation. There's a colon in there. You've also got some nice vocabulary. You've got a simile and a metaphor, and you've also got a rhetorical question. So straight away, in 3 lines of text, the student is already demonstrating their skill as a writer in conveying their opinion. On the other hand, if you're going to disagree with this statement, and you're going to say that social media is actually a force for good, you're not going to want to write a headline like that. Instead, you're going to want to be more positive. So your headline might be, you need to get with the times, social media is here to stay and is as safe as ever. Again, that sums up the writer's viewpoint as being positive with social media, but it also demonstrates use of an imperative, you need to get with the times, as well as a colon. So again, they're practicing punctuation. And the reader is under no doubt that the writer here has a positive attitude regarding social media, and their following article will reinforce why they have such a view. Let's now look at a second task, or to do with physical education or PE in school. The statement says physical education at school should be banned so students can spend time on more important subjects. Again, you're going to have to decide what your view is. Maybe it's a little bit of both. If you're going to be against PE and therefore agree with the statement, you might start your headline like this: cruel, humiliating, unfair, why compulsory PE finishes last in every race. In terms of language techniques, we have a triplet here, or a list of 3, which is demonstrating good use of language. We again have another colon. But we also have a metaphor, or personification really, where PE is being compared to finishing last in every race, which continues the theme and reinforces the theme of competition and sport. On the other hand, if you're going to disagree with the statement, and you're going to say actually there's a case for PE at school, you might have a headline like this: healthy, engaging, scientific, physical education is the cure for a plague of obesity and other health problems. What's the problem? So again, here we have a list of 3 of triplets. We have a colon. We have a metaphor in which the obesity is being likened to a plague. And we also finish with a rhetorical question. So again, not only does the headline sum up their view, but it also shows their skill as a writer. In our third and final example in this video, we have another task. The celebrity world is all about greed and appearances rather than being a genuine cause for good. If you're going to agree with that statement and you're going to be anti-celebrity, you might start your headline like this: Vanity and greed, why the cult of celebrity is a complete public pandemic. We have here nice vocabulary. In this couplet, vanity and greed, we have a colon. And we also have alliteration, public pandemic. Pandemic, of course, a word I'm sure we're now all familiar with following the last few years. On the other hand, if you're going to argue the opposite case, you might say inspirational, heroic, selfless, which celebrity are you inspired by? Here we have another list of 3, we have another colon, we have a rhetorical question, and we also have direct address, demonstrating the student's ability to not only convey their viewpoint clearly and confidently, but also to convey it through good use of language. So headlines are really important when you're being asked to write an article, because they sum up your viewpoint from the get-go, but it also is a good opportunity to demonstrate language techniques and also punctuation. So hopefully this video will help you if you're going to start your articles in a brilliant fashion.